Hi, I'm Ricardo Carlos. In the Rialto Unified School District, we have established Rialto Kindness, which means the personification of honorable and compassionate service to others. Today, on the Bridge podcast, we have a shining example of that as we welcome one of the longest serving educators in the district and highlight Rialto Adult School. Please welcome Mrs. Ann Lopatynski, a veteran teacher at Rialto Adult School, Principal Mrs. Kim Watson, and Mrs. Maribel Diaz, a student at Rialto Adult School, to the Bridge podcast.
Welcome, and I am so excited to have all three of you here today at the Bridge podcast. I want to first get started by asking Mrs. Lopatynski, 46 years as a classroom teacher in the Rialto Unified School District. You must have seen some things. How, obviously, do you enjoy working in Rialto Unified? And tell me some of your memories.
Well, what keeps me going? I love to teach. I think that calling came a long time ago when I was a little girl. My mom had to think that I had two brothers and a sister, and she always dedicated a day for us to play what we wanted to play. And it was pretty obvious I was going to play teacher.
You were always going to be the teacher.
Yeah. And my brothers and my sister, oh, not again. We just came from school. You're going to play school again. And I guess I'm still playing school.
Yeah.
I love what I do.
Isn't that what they say, is if you love what you do, you don't have to work a day in your life because you're just loving the passion and it's just exuding.
Exactly. It is a passion. You feel it in your heart. When I was at Myers and I had kindergarten for all those years, it was something to have a new group of students at the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. And then to see them grow, to be able to read, to be able to write, to do math, to work the computer. Mm-hmm. And then for parents to say, thank you.
So when you started February, I believe it says, February 14th, 1977.
Yes.
You came to the Rialto Unified School District as an elementary teacher, and you came here on emergency credentials? Is that true?
Exactly.
Explain that.
Well, what happened was I was a student at Cal State San Bernardino, and I had finished my first quarter, because in those days we had first quarter of student teaching. And I was successful in the first quarter. And then the second quarter, my master teacher, Dr. Stanton, came to me. She said, didn't we sign you up for a B-CLAD credential? When you finish, you're going to have a B-CLAD, aren't you? And I said, yes, you signed me up, remember? And so she said, well, guess what? I got a phone call from Rialto Unified, and they are looking for B-CLAD teachers. And I said, they are. I go, but I'm not finished. I am not finished. And then she said, it's okay. You're going to go interview. Oh, but Miss Stanton, I don't want to. Oh, you're going to go. So I remember walking in to the lobby here. Lots and lots of teachers there. And I thought, there's no way they're going to pick me. I don't have I'm not.
And you're 23 years old.
I'm 23. I'm as green. I'm as green as you can be. And I did the interview. And the ones who interviewed, I'll always remember, was Dr. Conrad and Dottie Spence. And the last question I remember Dr. Conrad saying to me, he said, Ms. Valdez, why do you want to teach our students here in Rialto? And I remember what my dad had always said. He said, if you want to be a teacher, that's a big responsibility.
Absolutely.
You need to be responsible and do the best that you can. And he says, because if you do, you bring hope.
Aww.
And when you bring hope, you realize that you make the children that you'll have, realize their dreams.
I can sit with you for another hour and talk about your awesome career for 46 years in the Rialto Unified School District, but I will come back to that, but I wanted to ask you, how does it feel when you hear 46 years and she's still passionate about teaching, and now she's teaching adult students? So how do you feel about your teacher, Mrs. Lopatynski?
Oh, Ms. Lopatynski is an excellent teacher. Is good person, is good friends.
Oh, That's nice. So you're
I
learning a
love
lot.
you, teacher.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate that. And we love our students appropriately. And I do want to talk to also our principal, Kim Watson of Rialto Adult School. So Kim, I think the important thing we want to ask you is what makes Mrs. Lopatynski an excellent educator, and what are some of the great things happening at Rialto Adult School?
Ms. Lopatynski is an excellent educator because she's a hard worker, she's dedicated, she's diligent, she perseveres, and she goes 110 yards for her students. She goes the extra mile to ensure that her students have everything they need to be successful.
How many teachers do you have at Rialto Adult School?
22.
22.
Yes.
Okay. And then you have a counselor there as well.
Yes.
Absolutely wonderful. And you have students now. Do you see a growing number of adult students coming in to Rialto Adult School?
Yes, we have more than tripled our numbers over the past years. We had a decline during COVID, the shutdown, but we have grown since then. So we're continuing to grow.
Wonderful. And I know we are talking about the Rialto Adult School. I should say the award-winning Rialto Adult School. We have Principal Mrs. Kim Watson here. We have a student, Mrs. Diaz. And of course, our teacher for over 4 decades, Mrs. Lopatynski. And I guess I want to ask you also that briefly you retired and then you came back. And you came back to Rialto. Was it because you, and you've taught in elementary level, now you're teaching in the adult school level. Do you see, obviously you're going to say you're going to see a difference, but do you see a major difference in the teaching style or?
Well, as far as the teaching style, yes, in a way, because you're working with adults, not children. But at the same time, you realize as a teacher that depending on the different classes that you get and the needs of the students, sometimes the needs are the same. You know, they need to use correct English, grammar, but that's what we teach our children in elementary. The needs may be a little different, but they're so many times similar.
So, thank you. And Mrs. Diaz, as an adult student in adult school for Rialto Adult School, what are your goals? What is it that made you want to come here and finish your education and move on? What is there something that you're inspiring to? Is it something you just wanted to finish?
Okay. My goal person is learning English, best communication with my son, other peoples, and the communication with the community, and my doctors, everybody.
That's great. And you're doing a great job. So, wow. And so what you want to do, because I know we had said that you have a son that attended Eisenhower High School as well.
Yes.
Your family
Right.
must be so proud of you.
Right now he's in the college.
Oh, he's in college. Okay. Okay. And so he went through the Rialto Unified School District at Eisenhower.
Yeah.
Excellent. Do you have any other children?
No, I only one son.
One son. Okay. And is he very proud of you?
Yes.
Yes. So you want to get that degree and you want to be able just to be a better communicator.
It's good.
It is excellent. It is more than good. It is excellent. Absolutely. And Mrs. Watson, I want to also ask you, Nick, how can someone who is watching the podcast right now, like Mrs. Diaz saying, oh, wow, she's getting, her GED or she's finishing up hers, how can they enroll? What can they do? They go on the website, which is rialtousd.org. But what are other ways that a person watching here who wants to finish their education, what is the procedures and protocol?
They can come to the campus. They can call the campus, find out when we're open, which is Monday through Friday. Come to the campus, find out what classes are available at what times, and they can register right then and there. We tell them what they need, what the procedures are. They will follow those procedures, and they have to CASAS test. Then they can enroll in classes. In addition to that, you said the website. We also have an Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram and find information. We also have a marquee on Willow Avenue. It's elevated. You can ride by. It'll tell you when to register and tell you our address and phone number.
And the physical address for Rialto Adult School?
Is 324 Palm Avenue, Rialto. It's on the corner of Palm and Foothill.
Foothill Boulevard. Excellent. So I did want to go back to you, Mrs. Maribel Diaz, who's one of our students, graduating students from Rialto Adult School. And you've done a lot, because I have a little cheat sheet here that Edith and Matthew work on for me. And your son graduated from Eisenhower High School in 2022. You have been active parent in the district. You're involved in DLAC and Pique. So you do a lot. You're involved, right? Does that help you, or how did you find out about Rialto Adult School?
I'm from the Frisbee Middle School, Miss Watson.
Oh, okay. So you went to Frisbee Middle School,
Yeah.
and then was there a flyer, or how did that happen?
And personal
Okay.
communication en reuniones, meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do. I would take the flyer out and share it with all the schools at principals' meetings, and then just ensure that our information was available to share throughout the community.
Okay, and I know that she's a member of DLAC and she's been with Pique, and so there's information that's always out there in these meetings that parents and our families go to. So this is kind of important. That's why you should be at these meetings, so you can figure out what's going on where. So this is great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And if I can interject,
Yes.
not because Maribel is here or not, but Maribel is just a wonderful parent. She involves herself with everything in the district. If you want to rely on somebody to come to a meeting, to spread the word about something that is going on in the district, you go to Maribel, because Maribel has always given of her time, is always interested. And even though her son has already graduated from Eisenhower, from way back when I first met her at Myers, she was always involved in the classes, involved with what was going on with the school. Everything. You just counted on Maribel.
That's wonderful. So you have the parent engagement and also the student interest
Yes.
at the same time.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Mrs. Lopatynski. Mrs. Watson,
Yes.
I know that you had done at the Board of Education, you had presented the Rialto Adult School WASC accreditation. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Definitely. WASC is the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. It is an accreditation process to validate that we're doing everything to ensure student success and to continue school improvement. And we received highly effective in 12 categories and effective in 3. We did an excellent job. The staff jumped on board. We worked diligently, hard. We met. We collaborated, we planned, and we completed our self-study, and now we are fully WASC accredited, and the official report comes out in June 2023.
Excellent. Well, yay. I know. I feel like we should have a clapping meme here. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I just want to end the question. And of course, she was a part of the WASC as well, right? The students were, and you were. You were on the WASC committee as well, right?
All of us
How
were.
was the experience?
It was wonderful. It was wonderful. First of all, the ladies that came were very, very nice. And so they made us feel, we were nervous. As teachers, we're nervous. I mean, even though we prepare and everything's ready, we're human. We were nervous.
Absolutely, yes.
But I know that during one of the meetings where we had, where teachers sat with them, she says, one of the coordinators, the main coordinator said, I know you're all nervous, but we come here to find out all the good things that you're doing here. And this school, she said, is doing a lot of good things. She said, we are so impressed. And she said, do what you do. She said, because you should be proud of what you do.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you being here, Principal Watson. I know you have a very, very busy schedule. And thank you, Mrs. Diaz, as one of our parents turned student in the Rialto Unified School District and Rialto Adult School. I wish you a lot of excellent support and success and luck. And I want to leave the last question with you, of course. One of our longest serving, I feel like I'm dating you, and I don't mean to, but you started in the Rialto Unified School District at age 23 in 1977. It was your love affair because it was February 14th, Valentine's Day present for you.
Exactly.
Yes, it's like the gift doesn't stop giving, right? Knowledge. And so I guess looking back, what is your fondest memory as a teacher in the RUSD?
There's so many, but I think that when I recall all of the students that I had, especially those that were in kindergarten, to see them march off to the first grade and know that I left a little bit of impact on their life, and to know years later, to know that they became, in many cases, an X-ray technician. In fact, I have one that is working in our school district that is a counselor. Oh, wow. And was my student. I have others.
The name.
that
Give me the name. Give me the name.
I cannot
Oh,
remember,
okay.
but my face only, I can recall her. Teachers that are teachers that have told me, running across the parking lot at Kohl's, teacher, and I'm saying, my husband's saying, come on, let's keep walking. I don't know who she's talking. Keep walking. And they run up to me and say, I'm a teacher too. And I remember when we did this and this and this in our classroom. And I've had students that are now out of the service. They were in the military and have now retired. So that really dates me. But I don't mind age because I hope I've left a little bit of impact in the world.
That's wonderful. Now you're going to make me cry. Thank you so much. I appreciate
You're
you
very
all.
welcome.
And I can guarantee you, as a teacher in the RUSD, you have.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, ladies, and good luck, Mrs. Diaz. Thank you. And I want to thank you for joining us on the Bridge Podcast. I'm Saida Joffrey, and we will see you next time.